Hi, my name is Carl Breida, and this is the second installment of Guitar Stories. And today I'd like to talk about this guitar. It has special meaning for me. This is a Dave and Buster's acoustic guitar, and it doesn't have any value in terms of monetary value, but it has intrinsic value for me, and I would be remiss not to talk about it because it is a really important part of my story. So, 2016, I was living in St. Louis. I was working in St. Louis. I posted a picture on Facebook, and in the picture, I said, "This is what I look like early in the morning." And this strange guy commented on my picture and said, "Well, that's the kind of guy I like to wake up with early in the morning." And I said, "Who are you?" And he said his name was Billy Boy. I said, "Billy Boy? That's funny." Actually, he said Bill, but I think I called him Billy Boy. Anyway, so long story short, we were chatting for a while. And then next thing I knew it, he was hopping on an Amtrak train from Milwaukee down to St. Louis to visit me. And I showed him the arch, showed him the Mississippi River. I told him about the wonderful blues music and the barbershop quartets. Love St. Louis. And I took him to Pappy's Barbecue. Pappy's Barbecue, the best St. Louis ribs in the world. The best barbecue in the world. Anyway, so we had a good time, and then he invited me to come up to visit him in Milwaukee. I drove up here, and on our first date, we went to P.F. Chang's, which is a kind of a chain Chinese restaurant in the United States. It's an elevated, upscale Chinese restaurant. So we had a big bowl of wonton soup, they say in the United States, wonton, and I think we also had some soupy dumplings, xiaolongbao, and then I think Bill had like pepper steak or something. Anyway, it was a good meal. And then it's funny because that place, that P.F. Chang's, is our anniversary place. So every year we celebrate our anniversary at that P.F. Chang's, and we sit in the same booth. And we order the same things too. And so it has special meaning to us. And then that night after P.F. Chang's, we went to Dave and Buster's. And the first thing I did when I walked into Dave and Buster's, is, as I always do, is I went right to the redemption area where you can look and see what kind of interesting toys you can get. And they had skateboards, and they had drum sets, and they had basketballs and footballs, hula hoops or whatever. They had a whole bunch of weird stuff. But then I noticed on the wall they had this acoustic guitar. Now, I had just come from Seattle and I moved to St. Louis, and I love music. I love blues music. I love barbershop. I was singing in a barbershop quartet, and I was singing in the gay band's chorus. So I was around music, but I really wanted to learn guitar. And I tried and I failed in Seattle to learn guitar because it was too hard. So I said, well, maybe if I win this guitar, I'll learn how to play. So we scoped the place, and we found the easiest machines to win points. At the time, there was a movie called Kung Fu Panda. And Kung Fu Panda had a great arcade video game where you would like punch these little light up things, kind of like whack-a-mole, but with lights. And if you did it in a certain pattern at a certain amount of time, fast, the Kung Fu Panda would eat dumplings and then get fat. And then the goal was to have him eat a certain amount of dumplings in a certain amount of time. Anyway, I have cat-like reflexes. Being a goalkeeper and a goalie for so long, my reflex really good. Probably my best trait is my cat-like reflexes. Anyway, so I was really good at that game, and I fucking dominated. So I won a lot of points with that. And then we saw another game, which was like a giant, the showcase showdown. You know when they do the spinning of the huge wheel at what's that? Price is Right. Price is Right. They have that big wheel they spin. They had one of those at the Dave and Buster's, but when you spin it, each thing was a certain amount of points you get. It went from like 10 points, 5 points, 10 points up, and there was like small ones that were 250, and then a really small one was 1,000 points. Well, Billy Boy, I don't know, he had some really good luck because every time he spun that wheel, he like hit 1,000 points. And this guitar was like 10,000 points. So it took us we maybe spent $15, $20 in that arcade, and we won this guitar. Only because we scoped out the two games that gave us the most amount of points. And so we took this home, and I told myself, I'm going to learn how to play guitar. Because we were getting to know each other. I was moving up here, I guess. He said, you should move up here. I think it took a while. I didn't just move up here. He came down a few times. I came up a few times. And I said, well, let me see what I could do. See if I can get a job up here and see what I can do. Transfer or something. That's what I looked to do. And while I was kind of learning about Milwaukee, I was also driving Uber and Lyft. I decided to learn how to play guitar. I had the electric guitar that I spoke about in the last video, Black Beauty, my Fender Squier. But I did see on a video that it was easier to learn on an acoustic guitar. So I said, well, I have an acoustic guitar now. So I started playing it, and I learned, the first song I learned was this. I don't know how it goes, but it was the theme to James Bond. I used to know it. I can't remember it right now. And then the second song that I learned was a Nirvana song called Something in the Way. It goes like this. It goes. Underneath the bridge, I passed sprung a leak, and animals I've trapped all become my pets, and something in the way, oh, something in the way, yeah, oh. I did not tune this guitar. I've been sitting in the corner for about 10 years not being tuned, so really out of tune, but you get the idea. And I should have tuned it before I did this video. Too late. So I learned my first song on this guitar. So this guitar actually has really special meaning. My first date with my husband, I got this guitar, and my first songs I ever learned on the guitar was on this, and anyway, and that's the story behind this Dave & Buster's acoustic guitar. And I haven't really played it since that week, because right after I learned those two songs, I'm like, this guitar really kind of sucks. And that's when I went to a music store and I bought a new, nicer acoustic guitar. And that acoustic guitar is in the corner right now, and I'm going to talk about that in the next video. But for now, this is the second installment of Guitar Stories, and I spoke about my Dave & Buster's branded acoustic guitar. Until then.